it's your girl, Miss Natural Journey, and today I'm doing something a little bit different, but kind of along the same lines of videos I used to do back in the day, where I used to do my Music Mondays and I would do reviews of songs and albums and things like that. Today is gonna be a combination of talking about music, but also talking about television. And if you don't know what I mean, if you are now watching BET presents the Encore, and you love R&B music, what are you doing with your life? What are you doing? I need to know. I need you to drop down in the comment section and let me know. What do you do on a day-to-day? Because you're missing out, like for real. If you guys don't know what the show is about, basically what they do is they are taking people who used to be in R&B singing groups from late 90s to early 2000s, and one who's actually never been in a group, and basically bringing them together for 30 days in what they're calling the Music Mansion. And they are to make 5 songs with everyone on it. I think they can make more than 5 songs, but at least 5 of the songs has to have everyone's voice on it. And then at the end of the show, they're supposed to do like a big performance. So I'm gonna go down the list of people who are in this house, and I'm gonna try to do it by memory. You hear my kids upstairs, they laughing. So we got Fallon and Felicia. They are from the group Cherish, and they sing, do it, do it, do it, do it. You know that we'll be rocking to it. So do it, do it, do it. Hey, I loved their album. I love me some Fallon and Felicia, or I used to try. We're gonna see after this review. They also have Shamari, who used to be in Black. Absolutely adore her. She was also on the Real Housewives of Atlanta for a season. I wish she would have continued being on there. I love her energy. I love her altogether, just everything about it. We also got Nivea, who I absolutely adore. I've always adored her. She's just so bubbly, so funny, so goofy. Love her. We got Aubrey O'Day, which is from Danny B. Kane, who I stand Danny B. Kane. Do you understand when I say my heart is damaged, so damaged, so damaged? Yes, you can blame the one before. Yes, I was a big fan. I watched the show. I got the albums. I know like start to finish for the most part, both albums of theirs. Yeah, and they came out with another one like 7 years ago, something like that, that I didn't quite get to listen to and enjoy, but lit, okay? Then we got Lamisha and Irish from 702. Okay. Love me some 702, yes. Who else? Keely from 30W. Getting a little tired of your broken promises. I think that's everyone, I think. If I forgot anybody, I would just plug it right up here. So yeah, I'm doing this from memory, guys. I want to just come home. I want to sit down with you guys for like a few minutes and just go over episodes 1 through 3, real quick synopsis, give you guys my opinion and all that stuff, okay? So like I said, they are on their 3rd episode. It's the very first season of the show. And apparently, just giving you guys a little bit of background knowledge, if you did not know this already, this show was pitched years ago. Todd Tucker and Carlos, don't know his last name, but they both worked on Real Housewives of Atlanta. They used to be producers, and obviously Kenny Burris is married to Todd Tucker. They pitched this show years ago. I know Keely was in the original cast, and then I know Farrah from Destiny's Child was in the original cast. And I don't know if they pitched to BET or a different network, but they turned it down, and then years later, BET picked it up. And so that's what we're seeing now. So they had already filmed episodes. I don't know if they filmed the whole season, but if you, I might put it down in the description box, because I came across a video recording of that episode from when they pitched it way back. So you'll see that Keely looks a lot younger. Yeah, so I don't know why they didn't, because the idea is genius. It's pure genius. To bring these women together, first of all, they had experiences in groups, and obviously those groups are no longer together. And to bring these women together in a house to create a super group is lit. Like, whose idea was this? I just told you whose idea was it. Well, they genius, okay. Love it. And I love 90s R&B. I love early 2000s R&B. That's why I love it so much, because like I'm literally listening to these women's like songs with their groups actively right now, because this is my favorite like time of music. And so yeah, it's lit. So basically they come into the house, right? Fallon and Felicia, which are the twins from Cherish, they get there first. So they're, you know, a little skeptical looking around, da, da, da. And then, oh, how could I forget? Pam. I knew I was forgetting somebody. Pam, my bad. Pam from Total. Yes. Kissing you is all that I've been thinking of. I've always loved her tone, her swag, her everything. So she lit. She's a little older. There's a few women that are a little older and then some that are slightly younger, but I mean, all of them in their mid 30s and up. So they all grown, right? So Fallon and Felicia get there first. Pam gets there. She has her mask on. She's like real to herself. And they didn't even know who she was. They were like, what's your name? Like the disrespect, first of all. The disrespect. But I'm guessing maybe they just couldn't recognize her because she had her mask on. I don't know. But the tone there just kind of put a little sprinkle of shade on the situation. And so everyone starts to get to the house. So mostly everyone kind of knew each other. They were familiar with each other. They were, oh my God, da, da, da. But apparently, I don't know if this is true or not, but they made it seem like they didn't know who was coming to the house. So they all get to the house. They understand their assignment. They BET brings back Sita from Sita's World, which is just a digital woman, ghetto fabulous. And she sounds like Taraji P. Henson, but I know it's not her. She sounds very much so like Taraji. If you agree with that, let me know down below. Or who else do you think she sounds like? But I hear they're gonna show who it is later on in the show. So yeah, they introduce her back to the scene. We ain't seen her since we was kids, okay? And I'm 33, so like since I was a teenager and a kid, like I haven't seen Sita. So she's kind of giving them instructions, and basically what they're gonna do, again, 30 days, they have to make at least 5 songs with everyone on it. They're gonna perform also at the end, and then also every, I guess, week, I don't know, every few days, they select someone to be the queen, and they each have to vote for someone. They can vote for themselves, they can vote for someone else, and basically when people are disagreeing, the queen is the one that comes up with the final ruling, and she's kind of the person that facilitates everything in the house, right? So they do their voting. First of all, Keely, before we even get to the voting, Keely drops the bomb that she's not going to be in the group. She's actually there to be the creative director. And obviously people are like, creative director? Like, I was doing this for longer than you. Who decided that you supposed to be in the group? That's what we're all here for. So why do you get to tell us the creative direction that we're going in? So everyone was just a little bit upset about that. They had a very bad taste in their mouth because of that. And they definitely gave her a hard time. They're like, who are you to tell us? Da, 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 da. Of course. So yeah, they get to the point where they're voting. Pam ends up being the person voted as queen because if you're watching the show, she's all about God. She's all about peace. She ain't let nobody like bother her at all. She's very level-headed for the most part. And I'll tell you why I said that later on. Level-headed, she's all about God. She's always talking about, you know, prayer, uplifting people. And, you know, the house definitely needs that because they've been going back and forth at it. The twins come in, they like, why are we in this group with these older women? Who are y'all? Like, why are we together? How's this gonna work? They start saying things they shouldn't be saying, and all the girls basically jump on them. Not jump on them physically, but they're like, we don't like this. Like y'all doing too much. Y'all doing too much. They're going at it with Keely, saying why is she there to be director, creative director, whatever. They're very vocal, and I feel like there's a way to say what you want to say and a way to say it to where people can receive it better. And that's the lesson that they need to learn. But I will say that I do agree with some of the things that they said, okay? And I'm gonna tell you what those things are as we progress. All right, so episode 1, they vote the queen in. It's Queen Pam. You know, she's excited, but she's also super humble. Like, she took off her crown and was like, we all queens, all this stuff. So they're trying to figure out how they're gonna basically make this music in 30 days. How are they gonna get it done? And they're also trying to figure out what the vision is and all that. So I would say Aubrey O'Day came in and was like, basically like, y'all, we so different. They all stood around and they sang. Almost forgot about that. They stood around the piano, each person sang a song, and obviously Nivea did her thing. Obviously the chick from Black did her thing. And yeah, they sound beautiful. Aubrey O'Day, she has her, you know, she be trying to push her little notes and everything out. She did her thing. Pam from Total just has, her tone is just dope to me. So she did her thing. wasn't doing too much, still kept it laid back like she typically does. The strugglers, unfortunately, were Irish, the strugglingest of them all. Irish from 702, Lamisha from 702, and then to me, Keely, I was like, girl, you creative director because you don't want to sing because you know that you need to get it together or what? So yeah, those were the three kind of struggling folks when they did their first thing. But you can tell they were kind of nervous as well. So it's like, okay, let's see what you can do further down the line. So they get to the point where Aubrey O'Day is like basically suggesting to some of the women that they split it up into two groups. They're like, how are we going to get 9 people on the same page to make an album? Like, we need to split into groups of like style and capability. And I choose you. Like, we can vibe together. I'm just picking who's on the vibe. And so Keely was not feeling that. She starts talking to women saying that Aubrey O'Day's being divisive, which she kind of was, but she also kind of had a point. But the experiment is for them to come together and make an album together. So that's the point. So yeah, end of the episode, they're doing their thing, whatever. Next episode, Pam is still the queen, and they're basically starting to get to work. Aubrey O'Day came up with a vision, which was really pretty. She like did some clippings or something, I don't know, child. Came up with some visuals to say like, this is how we can look and represent ourselves as far as marketing, all that fun stuff. We each bring our individual style, blend it together to where every person feels seen and heard. Everybody was on board with that except for Keely. Keely was over there looking stank, and she like, I'm the creative director, what are you doing, basically? And everybody else was on board. They're like, Keely's supposed to be the creative director, but she ain't directed nothing but her mouth to do this, okay? So they're like, you know, if you're a creative director, do your job, but she's not doing anything. So Aubrey O'Day took the lead, which is probably something I would have done as well. It's like, okay, we got to get this done. We don't have time for the nonsense, okay? And we don't have time to not be productive. So she puts up together a vision. She presents it to the women. They love it. They're basically gonna rock with that. So they move forward. They start working on a kind of island Jamaican sounding song, which was cute. I'm giving away all of my love to you. It was cute. Everybody did their part, you know, even the struggling folks found their rhythm, found their voice, and did a pretty cute job. Pam sounded dope. I just love her tone. I don't know why. She sounded dope on there. So they're in the studio, speaking of Pam, and I'm probably skipping and jumping up because I'm trying to do 3 episodes in one. After this, if you guys are feeling this, make sure you thumbs it up because I'll keep doing this, but I'll do it episode by episode, right? So they're in the studio, and they're in the studio, and Aubrey O'Day kind of puts her hand on Pam's like leg or something like that. And immediately Pam was like not feeling it. She basically got up, kind of explained to her, you know, like, I don't get down like that. I used to, you know, mess around with women back in the day. I've been delivered from that. Y'all, I'm a Christian woman, okay? I completely disagree with all of that. And some of y'all might be upset. That's how I feel. And that's how I feel. Okay, you can feel how you feel. I will feel how I feel. Yeah, that's a whole nother discussion for a whole nother day. But that's how she felt. And it is what it is, like, period. But it was just kind of awkward because she like made an announcement and then she went and started making announcements kind of to other people. Like, yeah, I used to mess around with women, but I've been delivered with that. I don't get down like that. I don't even like let women, basically trying to say like she don't let women get close to her like that. Which I get. If you feel like, you know, that was something that you were doing that wasn't right and you're trying to change, you changed your life, you don't want to be tempted by that, is what it seemed like. She was tempted. She was feeling the juices flowing, and didn't want to even go there with little Miss Aubrey. But Aubrey was like, you know how women just be, she didn't mean nothing by it. So that's why everybody was kind of looking around like, okay, whatever. But Keely was a little bit offended because she's bi. And of course, you know, it's like, what do you mean delivered from? You're saying it like God didn't make me this way. You're saying it like people, like it's something that people need healing and changing from, like, you know, and that creates a whole nother, you know, whole nother layer of difficulty when people say things like that. But it's like, okay, that's what she believes. Okay, believe what you believe, but just know that I wasn't feeling that. It's basically how Keely was feeling. And so yeah, so they ended up having Queen's Courts, which is if people are disagreeing, they come together and they talk about it. And so they basically came together, read the mandate, like, okay, we got to do songs together. Da, da, da. Keely spoke up and said, I'm not feeling what you said about being delivered from that. They kind of jumped on her, like, you just always running your mouth, da, da, da. All this stuff. She was speaking her truth, but it was like, I don't know if that was the right time for that. But then again, that is where they come to share their disagreements. So I don't know. So moving on, basically they start working, they're recording, they're doing their thing. You can see who really knows what they're doing, and it's the twins. They're producing, they're on the computer, they're getting people in the booth, they're like really actively being productive to reach the goal of this experiment. And so leading into episode 3, they vote in another, well, they're going about their recording. Again, the twins are doing their thing. They're writing music. They're having the women record it. Every time it's time to record, you notice that Lamisha kind of disappears. Like, she's like, oh, I'm not feeling good, da, da, da. And then she says, oh, I want to write. I can write. Let's write. But then she starts getting in the studio, and then she calls the twins in to come and write, like, come lay this track down, come do this. And they're like, okay. So it was kind of weird later on in the episode with some of the disagreements that were going on. But we'll get there real quick. So so they're making music, they're recording a couple of songs. Everybody sounds really good. They're like vibing in the studio. I loved that. I would just love to be like a fly on the wall when all of this is taking place. We only get to see a few minutes of it, but I'm sure it's magical. So they're vibing, they're making music, they're recording, and they end up voting in another queen. And throughout this whole thing, some of the stuff people didn't really agree with that Aubrey was saying as far as splitting the groups up, but at least she was like being solution oriented. Like, she was thinking about how to make this work, right? She came up with the vision as far as marketing and all that. And everybody voted her in. And she even said, like, yo, vote me in because I'm gonna put an end to all the BS that's going on. I'll be the bad guy. I don't care. So they ended up voting her in as queen. And then as soon as they vote her in, I don't know if it was the next day or what, but they go to dinner, and Lamisha's upset because she's like, the twins trying to take over. Y'all won't let us have any part of what's going on. Like, you always in the studio, da da da. And of course they get offended. And here's the thing. Here's what I've noticed, right? So their group is probably the least known out of all the groups. I know them because I love their music, but they're the least known. But they're the ones with the biggest mouth, okay? They got the biggest mouth. So you can't come in with women who got Grammys and all. I mean, they have Grammys too because they write for other people. They even wrote on Peaches by Justin Bieber, like a few like really popular songs, but you would never know that because you don't really know them, right? The problem is they pretend to be humble. They're not very humble, okay? And so it's like, okay, you have an opinion, but you're sharing it with, some of these women are older than you. They've been doing this for way longer than you. So you need to find a way to speak respectfully to these women out of respect, like, and to have your message received in the right way. So they rub people the wrong way all the time. And when Lamisha spoke up, like, y'all always trying to take over. Lamisha got a little attitude on her too. Y'all always trying to take over the studio, da 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 da. They're like, what? We trying to include everybody. And now they're just yelling at the top of their lungs, back and forth. Everybody's yelling, da da da. What I was confused about is Lamisha is saying that they're not sharing the studio. She's like, I'm surprised y'all made it as twins. Y'all don't know how to share. My question is, okay, so when you were in the studio, one, you disappeared and left. I think another day she was just asleep. And then the next day she's in the studio and she calls them in to help write. So I'm like, if I were the twins, I would have just said, okay, you want to do this? Have at it. You want to do this? Have at it, boo. Like, here you go. The doors are unlocked. Go write, go produce, go do whatever you want to do to make these songs happen. And just see where it went. Give it a couple days. I know that's kind of petty because I'm pretty sure nothing would have gotten done. Nothing that's hot anyway. Like, they need each other. They need to help each other. And so they all just yelling. Aubrey O'Day can't get a word in. She's just like, I'm trying to talk. And it's just a hot mess. And so that's kind of, if I'm not mistaken, how the episode ends, because Lamisha storms off, goes to her room, she's talking crap to the cameras in the room. Like, I don't gotta go to confessional. I'm gonna do this in here. They are full of it. Like, she was hot and heated, upset, all the things. And so they go and sit with Sita, basically sharing with her that, you know, things are not going well. You know, everybody's at each other's throat. They're trying to figure it out, and it's just not working. And so I think that actually happened before they voted Aubrey O'Day. And so I may have jumped around there. But yeah, the episode basically ends with them being at odds and us just wondering how the heck this gonna work. So can't wait for episode 4 to come out. It'll be out next Wednesday, I assume. I will say that I've seen some interviews with different people who've been able to explain certain things that we didn't get to see in certain cuts and things like that. And they are doing the things that you do on reality TV, is like clipping certain things to make it sound like they're talking about this or being shady about that, when really they're not. So they're doing a lot of that, or a bit of that. But a lot of it is just shade, egos, people not knowing how to express themselves in a productive and positive way. But we'll see where it goes. Like I said, I agree with a lot of the stuff that the twins said, just not the way they said it. But we'll see what happens from here. So yeah, if you are not watching BET Presents the Encore, you are missing out. If you love music and you love like late 90s, early 2000 music, you need to go ahead and tune in. So yeah, you guys let me know down below in the comment section, who's your favorite? Who is your favorite? Again, my favorites are Nivea. I keep forgetting her name. Shamia? That's not Shamia. Oh, girl from Black, girl. And then also, I like Aubrey O'Day. I really do. She's like a get it done type of woman. She's a little, she can be a little messy at times, but I also love, she's the only white girl on the whole show, and she can hold her own, okay? I feel like you put her in a room with anybody and she gonna do what she gonna do. That's one thing I really like about her. So yeah, let me know who's your favorite. And I'll see you guys on the next episode. Again, if you like this video, be sure to thumbs it up so I can keep doing this video, okay? But until next time, peace.